Welcome back to Jean Piaget's series of videos presented by Washington County Community College. In this, part 2, we will be taking an overview look of the 4 stages in Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory, which was introduced in part 1. In the previous video, we learned that Jean Piaget was influenced by 3 events that sent him on the long path to creating his theories of child development. 1. Children's wrong answers on standardized tests showed intriguing patterns. 2. The methods for measuring a child's intelligence at that time was inaccurate. And 3. Children's ability to think logically and form mental pictures was part of their learning development process. After many years of further research, he devised the 4 stages of cognitive development to help categorize and organize the basic age ranges and stages that children typically transition through. From birth to 2 years is the sensory motor stage. From 2 to 7 years is the operational stage. From 7 to 11 years is the concrete operational stage, and from 11 years through to adulthood is the formal operational stage. Let's take a closer look at each stage. The first stage in Piaget's cognitive developmental theory is the sensory motor stage, which lasts from birth to about 2 years of age. During this stage, an infant is developing their understanding and experience of the world through the senses: sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. At the same time they are experiencing these senses, they are also coordinating their physical action. Reaching or grasping for a breast or a bottle brings about taste. Seeing and kicking out feet brings about smiles. Gurgling brings about hearing the sound of cooing and coaxing from those who are holding and caring for them. The second stage of development is known as the pre-operational stage and lasts from approximately 2 years to 7 years of age. During this stage, children move past the stage of sensory motor and into a new stage where they begin to express their growth and experiences through words, images, and drawings. Piaget believed that during this stage, children have still not quite developed their ability to perform concrete operations. What Piaget meant by this is that children in this stage were not ready yet to internalize mental actions. They cannot mentally process the sequence of actions that they are physically performing. For example, a mother can open and pour 2 separate 1-cup milk cartons into 2 separate glasses of different sizes. Even though the child can see that the same amount of milk was poured into each glass, the size and shape of the glasses will influence their understanding of how much milk is in each glass. The third stage of development is known as the concrete operational stage, which takes place between 7 and 11 years of age. During this stage, children can perform operations that involve objects, and they can reason logically as long as reasoning can be applied to specific or concrete examples. Going back to the example of a cup of milk in 2 different size glasses, concrete operational children are able to determine that even if the glass is short and wide or tall and thin, if 1 cup of milk is poured inside each glass, then both glasses have an equal amount of milk. Or if a group of children were to play tug of war, those in the concrete operational stage would know that aligning their bodies and grabbing and pulling together will create greater torque and increase their chances of winning. The final stage of Piaget's cognitive development theory is the formal operational stage that begins around age 11 and continues right into adulthood. During this stage, individuals move beyond concrete experiences and begin to think in more abstract and logical terms. As well, they develop the ability to hypothesize and to test their own hypotheses. For example, consider a young softball player being asked to determine which 2 pitches she could perform consecutively with the smallest loss of speed, accuracy, and physical exertion. During the concrete operational stage, she would likely throw random pitches of each type without a system to ensure that she was properly measuring every aspect of the requested question. In the formal operational stage, the pitcher would set up a sequence of pitches to ensure that each pitch and combination of pitches were systematically measured and tried without repeat or loss of attempts. She may also begin to hypothesize that if her position at the end of the first pitch was similar to where she would be positioned at the start of a different pitch, she should consider combining these 2 pitches together and testing how well they could be performed in conjunction. This has been a brief overview of Piaget's cognitive development theory. Before you go, I just want to point out that it is important to remember that children of the same age can transition through the stages at different times. All children may be traveling on the same open road, but each of them can stop for a break or take in the scenery at different times along the way. Ultimately, they will all reach the end, adulthood.